the intro.
Hello and welcome to Turbo Function Gaming. This is CNN. So hello and welcome to Turbo Function Gaming. This is the first time we've been doing this, and I just totally lost my train of thought.
But that's okay, because we're going to keep going. Today we're going to be talking Destiny. Here's a game that has ruined our lives.
Speak for yourself.
It's ruined my life.
It's improved my life.
Okay, it's taking a lot of my time. Let's just say that. It's an addicting game, but we love it. We're going to discuss where we want the game to go in the future, what we like and don't like about the game, and yeah, so...
and if you're lucky, I'm going to roll up the rim and see if I win anything at the end, so...
What can we win? Let's look at our
Let's
Tim
win
Hortons
some more
Cup.
game time.
Well, this
Anyway.
stupid thing, you can win a $100 Tim card.
So we've made a bit of a list of some things that we're going to talk about, and bear with us because they're a little all over the board, but there's some things we've been thinking about the game, and some things you've probably been thinking about the game as well.
Yeah.
So, you want to start us out there, Sheldon?
Well, I just want to say, as far as the game goes, I think it's fantastic. It is my game of the year last year, for sure. But I think it is my game of the year because it kept me from other games. And, you know, like I've got Dragon Age, Far Cry 4, what else do I have?
So you're saying the drug of Destiny has been keeping you so inebriated that you have had no time to explore anything
Yeah,
else?
because I want to log on every week and do the weekly Nightfall and get my strange coins and do all the daily bounties.
If only you could
and
use
level
those day to day.
up.
I've got a lot of strange coins that I can't do anything with because Xur kind of sucks lately.
And yeah, Xur comes back, but Xur has had
A bunch of garbage lately.
a bunch of garbage, but they had the icebreakers a couple weeks ago, right? Was it 2 weeks ago they had the icebreakers?
Yeah, something like that.
And I finally got the icebreakers with that. But here's a fun fact when...
It's not plural, by the way.
What?
Icebreaker.
Oh, icebreaker. Sorry. Here's a fun fact. Xur, the first week Xur was in, he had the Galahorn.
Yeah.
And I didn't buy
This
it.
guy's like, I don't need that. I already have a legendary rocket launcher because that's about as good as it gets. And he's like, yeah, it's cool. It's pretty fire. I'm good to go. And then a couple days later, I got a legendary engram and I got Galahorn from it the same week that it was for sale. And then,
Yeah.
So I never even had to buy it, Strange Coins. I didn't have any yet because that was, like level 20.
Yeah.
And then I'm rocking the Galahorn, which is still the best ever in Destiny.
The game. Yeah, so yeah, that's just kind of my little spiel on it. The game is fantastic. I think the story element was kind of boring. I know you liked it, kind of.
No, I didn't. The story
Okay,
sucked.
you didn't like it. Okay. Well, I just felt like there was.
I like the world. As we all know,
Yeah.
Bungie's really good at world building, and there's lots of cool things about it. But there is no story there. There never has been. There's so many other people that have rehashed this the same conversation, and we could kind of go over some of the details that are on that. I think it's probably safe to say that there was some turmoil at the developer before this game came out.
Yeah.
And it was probably because of writers coming and going and different things, and they decided to go one way and just didn't have enough time to kind of keep it up to the traditional Bungie pedigree, as it were.
Yeah. All right. So I guess you kind of agree with me on the game overall. So, or
Well,
if you have anything to add.
Yeah, I mean, I've played it a ton. I mean, I'm over 300 hours deep into this game, and probably more than that. So it's been something that I've spent quite a bit of time playing, and a lot of times you're just kind of like when I used to play World of Warcraft when I was younger. A lot of times just spent in the tower dancing or whatever, some stupid shit like that. But bloop, and yeah, I don't know. It's been a lot of fun, and I agree. It's one of those games that kind of keeps you from playing other games. It's because there's so much to do, or so much that you just forget about doing because it's easy just to step into that game and just hang around and repeat the same damn thing you did the day before.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that because that's one of our topics, grinding. But should we go into the DLC before the grinding, or should
Let's
we?
do grinding right now.
Well, okay, we'll do the grinding. Yeah.
Let's do the grinding.
Let's grind with each other.
Okay.
Anyways, yeah, the grinding can get annoying. But this is a loot-driven game. You're in it to get more loot or whatever. PvP, yes. PvP is always something that you just do. I remember in Halo, you'd go into PvP and you don't get anything. Like there was a level system, wasn't there?
Yeah, you would get experience for killing
Experience.
people, and you'd get medals, and
Yeah.
and my rank was pretty good. So.
Yeah, you rank up, but you didn't get like new weapons or anything.
New armor.
You get new armor.
Yeah, all the Halo games. Well, except for Halo, up until Halo 2, you couldn't. I think Halo 3 you could.
Okay. You could get new armor.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, you just get like different pieces, and you could wear different shoulders and different.
But it was all cosmetic. It
Yeah,
wasn't,
it was
it wasn't
yeah.
like
It was
ability.
cosmetic.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing with Halo. None of the stuff ever gave you any abilities. It was always cosmetic.
Yeah. So
Level playing field.
I find with this, like you're playing because you want to get some stuff, and yeah, the drops are pretty bad in PvP. I have got a legendary engram once in a while, but
Yeah, there was a couple times when I was trying a little farming thing, and then I made myself a little crop, and then I showed Sheldon where it did, and next time it came back, he had like the entire state of Wyoming was his farming area. A lot of farming.
But yeah, I wanted to mention about the drops. I think with the weapons, I think it'd be interesting if Bungie would look into this, like getting a drop, like say a weapon would drop and it would be half upgraded or fully upgraded. You know what I mean? Like in Diablo, you'll get a weapon.
Well, that would just be more BS for RNGs, as we've all heard before, because it's just the kind of thing where you may get lucky and then have a full drop, or you may get not lucky and you're like, why did he get it, not me? It's the same problem.
But I think it's exciting to actually get something, and like with Diablo, like because I played a lot of Diablo 3. When I get like a a weapon, and it's like legendary, and it's like, okay, is it a good roll? Like, what are the stats on it, right?
Well, you said that before, and
but everyone knows
we
the
talked
stats.
a little bit about this before, but the thing about those legendary drops is that they are already randomly rolled. Like, if you buy it from, like, say if you get like a Vanguard weapon, you go to the vendor and buy it, all the ones you get from Vanguard are the same stats. But if you get an engram and it gets that weapon out of there, the stats are not the same. You get different items on different procs on different things like that.
No, I understand that, but like the upgrade of the damage, like the icebreaker, you got icebreaker, sorry. Did I say icebreakers?
You're good.
Oh, I said it right. Okay. Yeah, no, the icebreaker. You get the special ability, right, where it breaks off with the ice and does splash damage or whatever.
Yeah, it's to cause the enemies to explode.
Exactly. Yeah. So
exotics were designed to all be the same though.
Yeah,
exotics are because they're unique items. They're supposed to.
no, but what if I got an exotic, right, from the Nightfall or something, and then it was fully upgraded? Like that's what I want to see. I want to see like fully upgraded, because it is annoying. Like you have to put on the gun or whatever, and you have to do all the upgrades. Like my icebreaker is not fully upgraded, and it's annoying. Like you get a new shiny toy, and then it sucks at first, and then you got to upgrade that. Like you finally grind to get it, and then you get it, and then it sucks at first.
It does take you a while to get things upgraded, but I agree that
telemetry. But don't you think it would be interesting to have
telemetry is useless? That's like doesn't do anything for you.
Yeah,
I would. The upgrade, the problem that I have, I don't really have a problem with upgrading something the first time, because that kind of, if you don't have that, then there's less reason to kind of go and play all the strikes and do bounties to upgrade weapons and stuff like that. But if you, when Xur comes to upgrade weapons that are pre-expansion, you come in there and you buy a thing from it that resets all the progress you have on the weapon.
Yeah.
That's something that I agree should be changed, because it sucks to have something you spent, like, especially an exotic weapon can take a really long time to upgrade if it's a special weapon. And you spend all this time in bounties doing that, and then you'll press a button and you spend all this glimmer, and then all of a sudden you lose all that, and it's...
Well, maybe, I don't know.
That's something I think they should do a little more, like,
around. I agree with that. I totally do, but for me, I'd like to see, like, get a drop, and maybe a weapon would be, like, 75% already upgraded. I'm not talking about the stats below that sometimes are random on the legendary.
Well, so it comes down to the RNGs thing, where, you may upgrade, maybe upgraded, may not, then who's going to be the... Are you saying all weapons should be 75% upgraded? Or?
No, I'm saying it's totally random. Like, you get one, like, oh yeah, I got the Gjallarhorn, but it's 0% upgraded.
But then that's the thing, is someone might be really busy, like, why the hell is yours upgraded and mine's not?
No, they would, but in Diablo, people go, oh, what'd you get? And then you get the legendary, and you're like, wow, I just got I got a perfect weapon.
Yeah,
there's a lot of perfect weapon.
But that's like a lot of stats that just happen to be properly laid out, right? But what you're talking about is the way you get experience in Destiny, and you use that experience to upgrade a weapon.
Yeah.
And it's saying that experience bar is more full. The stats are still going to be the same regardless at the finish. It's not like Diablo where you roll and you get, oh, this one has intellect and this one has this and I need that. It's more like in Destiny, it's just this is what you do, and it's the progress bar is half full, and if you get one that's half or not full, like that would be just like, why is mine not full? That doesn't
I don't know. Like I think you're looking. You're not. Maybe you are understanding, but I think it would be kind of exciting to be like, oh, dude, that guy just got the what's a really good weapon in the Vault of Glass, Vex Mythoclast or whatever. Oh, you got the Vex Mythoclast. How upgraded is it? Yeah, how upgraded is it? It's like, wow, man.
Well, I
got totally upgraded.
Like, I got that weapon about
It keeps people
3
talking.
days before they released one of the patches that
Yeah.
made all the Vault of Glass weapons level 32.
Yeah.
So mine's level 31, and of course, like the Galahorn, they only had Zerg come with an upgrade for Vex one time, and I did not have the gun when he had that there, so
Yeah.
I have it now, and I can't upgrade it because he never has the upgrade. Oh well.
He will
He will,
eventually.
eventually.
But I think it keeps people talking. Like, it's not like, oh, cool, you got that weapon, and then the conversation's kind of dead, right? Now it'd be like,
Speaking of which, moving on.
I'm
That's a
beating
good segue.
I'm beating a dead horse. You don't agree with me on that. I totally understand.
No, I understand what you're saying, but I have a feeling that it's going to be
Okay.
another thing people would complain about a lot more than what's there currently.
I think we should talk the DLC. And how, you beat it in what, like 4 hours or less? Minus the Zur mission. You had to take the urn.
Well,
for Zur.
I haven't really spent a whole lot of time raiding in the expansion. I spent a ton of time raiding Vault of Glass and had a lot of fun with it. I enjoyed playing a little bit of Crota's End, but I didn't really find it all that interesting. Especially considering how buggy and wrecked it was right off the bat.
Yeah.
And everybody was just cheating. So, like, the big problem with Vault of Glass, and
Cheating.
the reason that guns like Vex Mythoclast were nerfed and other ones and all the rest of it is
Yeah.
because everybody was cheating, and 50,000 or 500,000 people got this gun that should not have had it because they did not have the skill to complete the raid, but they were
Yeah.
just cheesing and cheating and getting
Yeah.
drops that they weren't eligible for having. But
Mhm.
Bungie took forever to patch the thing. So then Crota's End comes out, and there's like 6 major exploits or whatever it was for the raid, so that everybody just run through and do anything they want.
Yeah.
Get all these drops again that are like really high end for the raid. Given we're talking easy mode, not hard mode, but still all those things come out, and then you get all this stuff, and all these people who may or may not have the skill to complete this thing properly, and they're just getting the drops again. So it's just like, I go in there and, I'll admit I've done a couple of those things as well, but
I'll admit I
yeah,
cheese
it's-
too.
but
It's hard.
I've always completed them all another way, and whenever I go in a group, I'm always like, can we do it another way? And then people are like,
Yeah.
no, we don't have time, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, whatever. It's like,
Like, we've been
it's
in a
hard
group
enough to find a
together.
group as it is.
Well,
so.
we've been in a group together, and you're like, guys, let's just beat it legit. And the
Yeah.
guys are like, no, let's just push them off the edge. Like, I'm talking about Vault of Glass, but
It's a pain in the ass because,
It's
as
annoying.
everybody
It's
always
annoying.
says, it takes more time to cheese it than it does to do it properly if you know
Yeah.
what you're doing.
it feels really good when you do it the proper way. And that's the thing. Like, is it the proper way? If you can, I don't know. You find these glitches and these loopholes and ways to beat it easier. And people are like, well, if we can beat it this way, Bungie has to just fix it. We're doing it right. I don't know. I don't really believe in that. But on the other hand, you're doing things over and over again, and sometimes people just want to get through it. To move
Yeah,
on
I
to
mean,
the next
I
thing.
can see on the side of it, as long as a lot of people kind of feel, well, as long as you've beaten it properly once, then that entitles you to cheating it whenever you want. And
Yeah.
sure, you've kind of proven that you can beat it, but I mean, that doesn't mean that like you're playing a game like Dragon's Age or something like that, and you play it on hard difficulty up to a certain point. It's like, okay, I beat it, now I'm just going to play it on easy for the rest of it. Well, it's kind of like, you can just walk through punching everything in the face, and it's not a challenge anymore. But it's just, what's the point? I mean, you play these games for fun and also for a challenge, and if you just accomplish everything right off the bat, well, that defeats
Yeah.
the purpose of wanting to play the game longer term because you have everything, and then, okay, well, I'm just going to go play another game because I've already tackled all these challenges. Well, if you
Yeah.
make it more difficult and you want to get those weapons still in there, if it's just so easy all of a sudden to get them all, then you're going to stop playing after 3 weeks or whatever it is. And it's
Exactly.
like,
And
why
then
do I
you're
even
going to
care
say the
anymore?
game sucks and blah,
Yeah,
blah,
I mean,
blah.
oh, this is so easy, I did everything. It's
Yeah,
like,
well,
there's nothing left for me to do because I have all the weapons, and it's just like,
Yeah, but the gameplay is really solid, and I find that the loot's keeping me coming back because I haven't even got the Galahorn, so
Galahorn is still a pretty uncommon one, and I think it's good. I hope
one day I get it,
Well,
and I hope Xur does not sell it again.
Yeah, that's
because I don't
exactly.
want that
I was
to
worried he was
happen.
going to say the opposite because I don't
No.
want Xur to ever sell because then all of a sudden the one weapon that is still considered special in the game will
Well, you-
become something that everybody has and it's not special anymore.
Well, you get in the raid and everyone's like, "Who's got icebreakers? Who's got Galahorn?" Right? It helps the raid. It does.
Yeah.
Having those weapons helps it. But now everyone has the icebreaker, and You know, and I just bought it. It felt like I didn't earn it.
Icebreaker is really good, but there's situations when it's not good. Like it's considered really, really good for PvE, but for PvP you want to have patience and time because the stability is so much higher.
Yeah.
But you know, there's times like Icebreaker aside, there's times when I try not to use Galahorn, and I also try not to use Fatebringer, the legendary pistol from Hard Mode Vault.
You really like the challenge. Try not to lean too much. It fucks the mic, I think. Yeah. Sorry.
So
bro.
anyway, I try not to use those guns because I really like them and they're great, but it kind of feels like they're so overpowered that they take the challenge out of the game. And I don't want necessarily Bungie to nerf those ones, but it's just, you know, you just can run through any section of the game. And it's just like people have called me Jesus while I've been playing, just because if you're playing like Nightfall with an arc modifier on it and you have Fatebringer, then you make every explode with arc damage. It's just, you can just kill anything like in like 1 or 2 shots, provided it doesn't have a fire shield or something on it. And it's just well, you just can knock everything over flat on its back non-stop.
You remember the time you came over and you're like, your guns suck. And I've been playing like just as well, like not as much, but close to the same amount of time as you. And I have these really shitty guns, and you're like, dude, like this sucks. Like no wonder why you're not having luck. Because my guns suck. You're kind of only as good as your guns and armor. I know that's kind of debatable, but
it's definitely
it does help though. Like say you got the Galahorn and it's got the homing rockets.
I would say in general it helps when you're doing the really top tier stuff, like the really hardest difficulty. But anything else in between, it's not really that big of a deal. It'll kind of make you more efficient, but it's if any gun that provided it's a decent gun will be totally fine. It's just those like Nightfalls at level 30 or player versus player. It's good to have some good weapons too.
Well, I find just stocking up on rockets, because there's a lot of areas in like the Nightfall and all that, or the weekly, and there's just a big mound of enemies, and you just shoot a rocket and kills like a whole bunch of guys, and it does help. If I had the Galahorn, man, I'd be getting through it a lot quicker. Like, not saying I don't get through the stuff, but I feel like I would have kind of more of a fighting chance versus, because I don't have the Galahorn. If you went in with the Galahorn and I went in with my crappy,
what mission are you talking about?
I'm just talking about any weekly, because I find your kills are way higher than mine, and you are a better player. I'm gonna say that on record, but we're not even gonna go there. I don't know.
Well, this past week, they once again did Crota's Will of Crota as the weekly strike, and they made it prismatic damage for the Nightfall, which, in my opinion, makes it pretty easy, because then you can just choose your 3 favorite guns and just kill anything you want. So of course I had Fatebringer, and I used Galahorn, and I used I can't remember what one. I think I might have used a fusion rifle for the special weapon, like whatever one, I can't remember. But I was able to solo both the Nightfall and the weekly on level 30 back to back without dying one time in either section.
Nice.
So that was like 675 kills straight in the Nightfall and weekly. I mean, but my point being with that is that those guns make those so easy. It's like when you're playing Will of Crota, and the section in the first area when you have all the thrall coming out of the rooms, you can just headshot one of them and he explodes, and then he explodes with arc damage, and then he kills every single. So like you can fire one bullet and you kill like 10 thrall. I mean that's how powerful Fatebringer is. And then you have like a captain or something on the other side of the room, and you just fire one Galahorn at him, and it's just like one shot, and then just every single gun you have just makes those things just so easy.
Yeah. And
I almost found a way to kill Omnigul at the end of that strike before you even get to the end of the room. And that earlier in the week when I attempted to do it one time, I got through to the end where the ogre spawns at the end of that strike, and I was trying to kill Omnigul with the Galahorn. I had her down to like 25% before the end room.
Oh wow.
And then the ogre killed me because it was void damage still on there, right? And it just killed me super fast. And then I was like, oh, I'm going to bed, so I'll try this again later this week. But the Galahorn with the solar damage there, take off her shields, and like one rocket does like 10 or 15% damage to her health, like one rocket. Like, whereas any normal time would be like 2-3% or something like that, right? And you can just use the homing rockets and then just shoot her at the other end. And she doesn't move, so I haven't had a chance to really see if that works. I probably need to get someone else in there with the Galahorn as well. But.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know where we
were talking about the DLC. Overall.
Okay, yeah. So the DLC, it was kind of short, and
I'd say
there wasn't much meat to it.
No, I would
You
say
know-
overall I wasn't all that impressed with it, but
No.
the important thing to realize is that it is DLC. A lot of people are calling it an expansion. It is not an expansion. It's just
Yeah.
downloadable content. So in that regard, it still was a little bit overpriced. There wasn't
Well,
enough there, but I didn't
No,
enjoy
I
it.
don't know about that. For 4 or 5 hours for $15, you know, because it's $30 for the pass, right? For the 2. I think
was it
15
$30
bucks.
Was it $30 US?
Yeah, I think it's something like that. But you know, I think for the $15, I would buy it.
But,
You know what I mean? I think
but the thing is, you're looking at time,
Yeah.
not content, because all
Yeah.
the stuff that was there was content that already
Yeah.
existed, and they just went this. They just reversed a path through existing content and added a couple of guns that
Yeah.
were just different skins of existing guns.
well, I enjoy
So
the
there's
yeah.
other than a couple of the exotics that were added, there's no new unique
Yeah.
content. Everything there was already as it existed in the game beforehand, and they just unlocked or changed the direction that you run through an area. There was nothing new about it,
Well, you know,
Other than
Eris or
Eris.
whatever.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just talk about her whole level up system.
which is ridiculous.
It's stupid. Like you had to get to level 4 before you could trade in your radiant material.
Which I haven't even done anyway.
I haven't even got to level 4. I was at like 3.5, and I was ahead of you at one point.
Yeah.
And then I played a couple other games. I actually took a break for a bit, but and was playing Shadows of Mordor. But you know, like that is so stupid. Like they should lower that. Like everyone that has a game is going to get to level 4. They're probably
they
at level
should
4
not have
now,
made a
but
different upgrade tier for things. They should maybe have said, okay, now we require
more
12 shards instead of 6 to upgrade a
Well,
weapon
you know how
or
many
something like that.
shards you have? Like I have like
Well, they should
so
not.
many
They should not
shards.
have added a different upgrade
Material,
tier for
yeah.
new things. So like the radiant stuff, they should have just been ascendant shards, and instead of having 6 to upgrade, now you need 12 or something like that per tier, because we have all these different things that now we have but we can't use,
I'm
and
glad
we're still getting
yeah.
them from other stuff.
Well, I'm glad you kind of mentioned that because like a lot, like other people have said this as well. But you got to take the ascendant material and the energy or whatever, and just the normal ones, and then upgrade it to radiant. And you should be able to do that with her instead
You
of.
can't. You can only.
No,
transfer
I know
one
you
of them.
can't, but
Yeah.
that's what Bungie should add because
Yeah.
you have all this material you keep
Well,
getting.
what they
and
need
you're
to
like,
do is they need to
yeah.
remove all the radiant materials from the game. Period, and just make it so it's more expensive to upgrade
Well-
the higher end things, not just
Yeah.
different material that you can't get very easily.
Well, I know you play WoW and stuff, but like you know, they bring out like new items to kind of feel more kind of like, oh, this is new, but it's just annoying. You know what I mean? Like that radiant
But that's the
material.
thing is, World of Warcraft
Yeah.
has been around for a long time, and Blizzard has always been a company that has been really, really willing to change how the game plays. You know, some negatives as far as people are concerned to make the game easier, some positives, and they've really kind of turned to stone with that. But
Yeah.
we're not going to get into that. But the point is that every single time you level in World of Warcraft, you go to a new zone, you'd have new minerals to mine, you'd have new
Yeah,
items.
and
to
I think that's what
enchant with.
Bungie was trying to do.
So
with
they're
this.
trying to emulate
Yeah.
that, but you know, because a lot of people look at World of Warcraft and they go, "Well, this is what they did so well. That should be good for us." But that's why all these other MMO clones over the past 10 years have failed so miserably, because all they try to do is copy World of Warcraft instead of stepping onto their own, saying, "You know what? We appreciate what they're doing, and we're going to take some of that and run with it, but we need to do our own thing here."
Yeah.
And instead of just copying and saying, "This is what we got to do."
But like even in Diablo, like you can take like materials and then upgrade it to like the gemstones.
But
like
the-
you
the
upgrade
thing-
it,
the
and
thing
I
is-
think they should do that with here because they've already introduced the radiant material. It's already
It
in the
doesn't.
game.
It doesn't really work in the same regard though, because with Destiny, you're
But
level
it could.
30 and you're
They could
Well,
fix
hear me
that.
out for a sec, because like Destiny goes, you're already at level 30 with all the stuff. With the way the leveling system works is kind of goofy, but
Yeah.
if you're going from level 30 to 32, okay, it's pretty easy to get there, but you're restricted to getting these materials.
Yeah.
In World of Warcraft and those other games, you would already be those leveling things, and then you could choose to get those materials because you're that level, or you could just skip them and go on to the next one and get the other materials later, or you could just buy them. Whereas this one, you are dependent to get those materials in order to get to the next level.
Yeah.
And you can't get those materials unless you do the raid, which a lot of people won't let you get in unless you already are level 32.
Mhm.
So it's like you're kind of at a catch-22. And it's just like, so what do I do here? I'm just stuck. I can't make any upgrades anywhere because I can't get in there,
Yeah.
or whatever it is.
Or I
right?
can't find a team.
Whereas
You know,
the other one, you could
yeah.
already be that level, and you could use those materials to help make yourself a little more powerful. But
Mhm.
you already be that level. Whereas this, you're dependent on getting that kind of stuff. Where
Well, for the record, I'm gonna say I think they should add that you can take the ascendant and turn it into radiant. Like maybe 5. I don't know what's fair, but other people online have been reading forums and stuff, and they want that, you know, like, and whether you agree with it or not, you know, I think it's something Bungie should look into because it's annoying just getting this old material that you're never gonna use.
I
you
want
know?
them. I want them to, before they even do that, to overhaul the leveling system to get away from this light level gear shit.
Well, they've already.
Well, they are.
It's part of the
talking,
story.
But no, but it is.
Yeah.
But it is, but it isn't. They've talked
Yeah.
a little bit about how it kind of meshes in there, but it's not really part of the story. It's just kind of like an accepted kind of part of it. There's not really any kind of story that says this
I'm
is why
level
that is.
20, light level 32.
Well, it doesn't
I
make
don't
any
get
sense.
it.
And they're
Yeah.
supposed to be for one of the expansions that comes out. And the first expansion, not DLC, is supposed to come out Q3 or Q4.
Yeah,
Like rumored, it's supposed to be like the end of 2015 kind of thing.
yeah.
But that expansion is supposed to bring people up to around the level 40 mark. And it wasn't just increasing light level to get you to that area. They were actually going to overhaul, from what I remember and the things that I've read, they were going to overhaul the leveling system so that you would actually level your guy up more as opposed to just having the light level on your gear that boosts you up, because it doesn't make sense when you keep expanding. Because the point being is that right now you get to level 20, and it worked at the beginning of the game, and you know, people at IGN and other people have touched on this already, but it worked at the beginning of the game when you're level 20, and then you got like some rare gear, then you got some legendaries, then eventually you got to level 30.
Mhm.
But now the fact that everybody's already level 30 and they start up a new character, well, I've already stockpiled all this gear that as soon as that person hits level 20, they're immediately
Yeah,
level like
exactly.
28 or whatever until they add some materials to it. So there's no point in
But
having that
yeah.
entire missed gap of all those levels, right?
Yeah.
They need to change the leveling system so that when they do start releasing other content, that there's an actual movement from level 20 to 40 or whatever it is, as
Yeah.
opposed to just like, okay, well, I'm level 20 now, I'm level 38 or whatever it is down
Yeah.
the road, right? They have to change that because that doesn't make sense for an endgame thing later on.
It's funny.
It
how
only
you-
works at the
yeah.
beginning at launch.
It's funny how you said, you know, you collect all this material and all this gear for like your next character, and you know, I kind of like that because you get so pissed off. You're like, what? A warlock
I'm not saying
helmet?
I'm not
Like,
saying
I play
not,
as a
I'm not
Titan
saying
most
not
of the
connect.
time.
I'm not saying
Not connected, but yeah,
Or
I don't know.
I'm not saying like it's bad to collect that gear.
Yeah.
I like collecting the gear. The same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I have gear that I've saved for characters I don't even have yet. But
Mhm.
um,
Which they got to make the inventory bigger
yeah,
because
yeah. But
we're running out of
back
slots.
to the other thing. I was like, they need to just change it so that you don't just all of a sudden have another character that as soon as you just throw the gear on, he's all of a sudden godly, right? And if you look at
Yeah.
something like World of Warcraft again, if you like, it's level 100 now or whatever it is. But when I stopped playing, it was level 80, and you would get in there and you would get to level 80, and then once you're level 80, then you can start getting better gear at level 80, which would make you more powerful at that level,
Mhm.
as opposed to, okay, well now I'm level 20 and I'm gonna put gear on and it makes me level 80. Well, what happened to all that content in between that I don't even have to deal with now? Because
Yeah.
and like in Destiny, there wasn't really all that much content between level 20 and 30, other than like Vanguard strikes. But there were things you had to do, and just things that took you time to. You had to earn that level 30 as opposed to like just all of a sudden I'm level 30. And
You do earn it, but man, playing through the camp, like I remember when I started my second character.
The only earning is
War-
grinding the gear once
Yeah.
you put it on your gear. That's the
Yeah.
only thing. It's like, okay, well then I just grinded the same thing that I did for the other character.
Yeah. No, I see what you're saying.
They need to make that
Yeah.
kind of, like I said, it makes sense when the game comes out, when everybody's in the same position and everybody's upgrading their stuff and going through transitioning to better and better gear. But once
Mhm.
everybody's level 30 or level 32 or whatever level it is,
Mhm.
and then they just have an alt they bring up, and then it's like, well, I don't need to do any of that. As soon as I'm level 20, I
Trying
can
to just
put
throw the gear on.
throw the gear
I
on,
actually,
and then all that other stuff
yeah.
in between is useless.
I actually started another Titan, right? Titan's like my main class. I play. I have two Titans.
We're
and I
both
have-
Titans, by the way.
And I, and I have a Warlock, which the Warlock's okay. I haven't really played enough with the Warlock to really kind of understand it. You know, I haven't got
Warlock
enough.
jumps suck.
Yeah, Titan Jump's my favorite. And I didn't even, I deleted my Hunter because I'm like, you know what, I'm going to level my level 20, and then when I, every week I can maximize my strange coins, or I can go in the raid, you know, more than once, and actually benefit from it, you know what I mean? So I created this Titan, and I did exactly what you were saying, like I'm just going to throw the gear on my second Titan when I'm like level 20, and just swap back and forth.
Well, that's
And
what
then
a
I've
lot of
got
people do,
two
because that
level
allows you-
31
Well,
Titans.
the reason people do that is because it allows you to run the raid lockouts more than once and get
Exactly.
the once. You have twice the chance at getting the
Yeah.
same drops.
Also with the strange coin, like if you're a newer player in the game, you know, like you probably want to get to level 20, or actually you got to be level 26 for the raid. So get to level 26 and then start your other character. And I don't know.
And there's not even any point to do the raiding work, because that's the thing we're talking about with this gear is that
Yeah.
if you have an alt that you're starting after the fact, then you get your gear and you put on your characters. Like, why would I even do Vaulted Glass? I can just go right into Raid of like Crota. So it
Yeah.
completely devalues, and that's what a lot of people have said as well. Like,
It does devalue.
it devalues Vaulted Glass. Like, why would I even care to go in there anymore unless
Yeah.
the option
The
has
prime-
an exotic?
I like some of the primary legendaries, like the
But
one.
they're all
Visions of
level
Confluence.
30, right?
They don't. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I didn't know in the DLC it doesn't level
No,
up.
it
to
only
third
levels
star.
up exotics.
Because no. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so all the legendaries that are. That's
Are-
why they have like little eye in the corner there.
Oh, okay. No, but you know how they upgraded the legendaries to damage 331?
Yeah,
instead of 300.
But that's only,
is that in
that's
the
only
Vault
for
of Glass?
Dark Below stuff. It's not for
No, it's not. That's wrong.
No, but the exotics for Vault of Glass will be upgraded, but the legendaries that drop in there are not.
They're not upgraded because they upgraded the legendaries in the game like all around the board.
No, they didn't.
Are you sure?
Yep.
I can turn on my console.
Yeah, go for it. Like no, they did not. They all of the legendaries that you had that existed before the DLC were 300 damage.
And
On
you
all
can
the
still get 300 damage?
Yeah.
I don't believe that.
But
no,
the thing-
I got legendaries that are 331 that don't have the eye in the corner.
That's the thing is that
I
no,
swear,
the difference is because those legendaries exist for people who have not bought the content because they can now be still the equivalent with damage wise. So
Dude, I have legendaries that are
I know,
331.
I do as well. I have I have a whole
but
bunch of
they're only eye.
Yeah.
Or
Well, there's ones that are, but there are ones that aren't. Are ones that people that have. Because I have a friend at work who got a what is like kindergartens is the word people are already calling like new people that got the console for Christmas. So they're new players kind of thing that have got the system later. I've got two that I work with that are in that situation who haven't really played that much.
Okay.
So those people are playing Destiny for the first time. And they have not bought the Dark Below. So they can go up and they can get level 31 legendary items without getting those other legendaries which have the little eye icon in the corner there, or whatever that icon is, and that denotes that weapon can only be obtained by somebody who has the content, as far as I know.
Okay.
But if otherwise you can still get a level 31 legendary from a drop, like it'd be like some kind of Vanguard thing or something like that. But those other ones, as far as I know, are only available either by random drops or by what you can buy in a vendor without having the expansion.
All right. Well, I believe you because you know more about the game than me.
But I haven't played since last Thursday, so I'm a little bit rusty.
You're having withdrawals. Okay, let's talk about the raid matchmaking.
It doesn't need to be there. Let's move on.
Yeah. Well, I think we should talk about it a little bit because the community has been asking for it because. You try to go on the raid and none of your friends are on. You do go on the forums to look for people.
All I want to
sometimes.
say is that I 100% agree with you that it is a pain in the butt to find groups. And even when I do go on those forums, like looking for group.net or whatever these Destiny raid finder things are, you can go on there and you can find people to play with. And sometimes it takes a really long time, and people are still looking for people with Galorn or Icebreaker or whatever it is. It's a pain in the butt, and you may get a really shitty group, you may get a good group. I've found both.
Yeah.
And the thing for me is that I don't really think raid matchmaking will help, and the reason I say that is similar to reasons why Bungie says they don't want to do it.
Yeah.
But for me, because I used to play World of Warcraft, they did institute raid matchmaking at times, and it was crap all the time. It never ever worked, and it was always just because all these random people who were like, I want to do the raid, I don't know what it is, and they would go to some stone or whatever somewhere, and they'd touch it and say, I want to join this raid, and then you'd join a raid of 25 people, which is a lot more than 6. Then you'd get in there and you'd have all these people that are just totally confused and like don't know what's going on. And there's there may be one or two people in there that have done it before, but for the most part, those people that know what they're doing don't join those groups. It's always the rookies, so everybody's running around getting killed and killing everybody else. It's not a good experience. It makes those people not want to do it anymore. So I think it's a better idea. I mean, at least until the game becomes an institution. But I mean, in the way that's going right now, it makes much more sense for people to kind of go in there with people that already know it and they can kind of be taught how to do it. Because you'd be so frustrated going in there just playing with a whole bunch of random people. And I mean, if there was a way you could denote skill level and have like a proof for it, like it would almost be like if there was some kind of a system where if you've completed a raid, you'd get like a token or something in your inventory, and then you could go in there and say, I want to join raid matchmaking, and that token you have in your inventory can show that you've completed the raid before.
You would have to pay to matchmake.
But like how when
I know what you're saying.
Well, like
it would just be like a medal.
Well, like Iron Banner, when you have 5 losses, you get a medal in there, right? And then you only get 5 to win. I'm not talking about experience the way that works, but if you have something in your inventory, you get like a medal saying you've completed it, and then when you go to matchmaking, only people with 5 medals can go into this list to do matchmaking. So it'd almost be like, okay, you can do matchmaking, but at the beginning, the first couple times, you have to go out and find your own group. Because you cannot opt into the matchmaking until you've completed it X number of times, because at that point, you kind of know what's going on in there, and anybody who has 3 or 4 medals or whatever it is, you know how many times they've completed it, so they're not new to it. Because putting a bunch of newbies in there, it's like,
it's painful.
It works, but, Bungie may, or some other people may say, well, okay, well, that happened at the beginning. Everybody who went in there and did it at the beginning did it blind, but those are people who are doing world first who are much better players than any of us are probably going to be
Yeah.
watching this video, and they're going in there doing like really crazy stuff and running through there doing speed runs without even dying.
Yeah.
So those kind of people, of course, they're going to go in there and try it the first time. And
Well,
be no
I
problem.
just want to play with that guy that beats it by himself. Me
I
and
play
him.
that all the time. I'm just kidding.
Me and him. Him and I. Okay, let's move on with that because whatever. I thought if they did introduce it, there should be like a vote to kick button, but I think it's going to cause a lot of frustration and problems. But I do feel for the players that don't have that many friends and they have to search the forums. Because you know me, remember, like, we talked about, you're like, dude, you should really try the raid. And I'm like, dude, I have no friends. Like, that sounds really sad. That's kind of why we
Speaking of
created
beating
the
it by
channel.
himself, this is what he's talking about.
Yeah, I'm going to have to beat it by myself. That's the only way it's going to happen because I have no friends. But yeah, no, I did download the Destiny app and I went to the forums like looking for groups and I did get in with a few great guys that showed me how to do it. And I also have been in really horrible groups where, there's some people that do it a certain way and then there's other people that don't. They got different plays and they're like, what are you doing? And they don't really communicate properly.
Everybody has their own strategy.
Yeah, and you butt heads. You're like, well, we beat it this way last time.
Well, that's why it's important for someone to be in any given group who's kind of
to
like
be the leader, yeah.
and he kind of explains how to do things. Whereas when you have 6 random people and everybody's like, well, I don't know what to do. Well, I'm just going to do this. And then,
Yeah.
I mean, for any of us who've been in there at Vault of Glass or Crota or whoever it was, when you're at some boss that people don't know how to beat properly,
Mm-hmm.
and you've been in there and you've been wiping for an hour or two, and maybe you've done that group, that raid or that boss with another group, and you're able to do it in like 5 minutes, and it was the easiest thing you've ever done. We've both been there.
Yeah.
And then you get in there with some other group of random people who probably have done it, but
Well,
they've all been carried by somebody else.
Remember
kind
when
of
we
thing.
killed Crota in like less than 5 minutes? I was just really fast.
Yeah,
Like you like
yeah, we
blinked and it was
went there,
over.
legit killed Crota with like I think we had like 5 people, and we did it in like a couple minutes, and it was like the dumbest, easiest thing ever. And only like I think 2 of us had Gallhorns. It was so
Yeah,
easy.
yeah.
The rest of the thing people had icebreakers, except you. You
I
didn't have.
I was probably the weakest in the group, to be honest. But
Sheldon was like just like talking to the wall, like spinning around.
at the ceiling. Whoa, where's Crota?
Just don't get yourself killed. Just don't get yourself killed.
I didn't
but-
die though.
No, but like the point is that you
Yeah.
do that and you can just race through it and it's super super easy.
Yeah,
but then
when
you
you
go to
got-
those people who
yeah.
have been carried before, and then everybody just dies all the time, and it's like, oh.
If you got six Sheldons, you're in trouble. I mean, I'm the best.
This guy's really hard on himself for the record all the time, but I'm gonna say right here on camera that he sucks. No, I'm just kidding. He's actually really good. He just gets hard on himself all the
Yeah.
time. So
Yeah.
now they're out for the world. So Sheldon does not suck at Destiny.
Yeah, I'm going to say I'm mediocre compared to you. Like he's really good, and this isn't an ass kissing competition right now. But
But if we wanted to have one, this is where he would come.
next video, please subscribe. All right, so we've talked the game overall, DLC, grinding, weapons. Sorry, I just have a list on my phone here. Raid matchmaking. I don't think I'm going to talk about that stupid dancing thing.
Sheldon really wanted to have a dance competition in the tower, but we'll just leave it at that and move on to the next topic.
Actually, I do want to talk about dancing now. Now that you brought it on.
The frickin' rave in the tower.
I think they should add more dances in the DLC because the dancing.
Okay, next topic.
Like, come on, some salsa. Tango.
Don't you think you don't have that kind of leg agility in your armor?
Yeah.
That would actually be really funny if there was a tango dance or salsa dance.
Yeah. Well, I thought in the DLC they should be
No.
like, new raid, new strikes, new story missions, new
There's
dances.
been one video that I've seen that was posted on, I think it was on Kotaku,
Yeah.
a couple months ago, and there was a video of someone who was in a sniper battle with somebody, and I think I might have sent you.
You
this-
sent me that, yeah.
And
And
there's a guy that was like, it was on, what's the
the guy was dancing, missing the bullets.
it was an Earth, one of the Earth Crucible levels, the one where you're on the side of the cliff.
Yeah.
And one guy was trying to snipe this one guy, and the other guy kept dodging, and he couldn't get out of the way. So the guy who was dodging just ended up dancing. And I guess even though you're dancing, like the hit detection still follows where you are, kind of thing. So he was dancing, and he'd be like this, and then every time his head moved, the shot would go by his head. You go back this side, the shot would go by, and it wasn't controlling. It was just the dance moves that was making him dodge. And then
We'll
he
find
turned
the
around.
video,
Then he
yeah.
turned around and he shot the other guy in the head. which was really really good.
That's cheeky, man.
it was pretty fun.
Well,
that made one of Kotaku's
yeah.
like plays of the week, so it was.
You should find that link, and we should put it in the description of this video so the viewers can watch.
I'll do what I can. No promises.
Yeah. No promises. But I'm gonna even say my silly things about the dancing. I think they should add powers to the dancing. Dancing power. Like maybe a fire. Like you dance. Dance. The fire goes around you.
No.
Hey man, it's something new. And then I also thought in the DLC, you should be able to put a boombox like the.
Just because you can't take yourself seriously right now, that's why it's not been.
Okay, Bungie, we need a boombox. My guardian needs to drop the boombox. Push
It
a button.
would last
and
as
then-
long as your hunter receiver ability. You just put a boombox in your drop kick to the face.
Yeah. Anyways,
punch.
enough about the dancing.
Yes, more than enough.
I'm gonna make a video.
Don't
about
worry, this will be edited out.
No. it won't. We gotta show them that we have ideas for the future. All
More
right.
ideas about the future.
I did say something about the Destiny app, but I don't even think we should talk about it. I think you should download it. There are pros and cons for the Destiny app. I think we pretty much covered everything.
Yeah,
Except for the storytelling, and I know you don't really want to go into that, but I'm gonna say, like, you know, it's not.
Speaking of dead horses that need to be beaten.
Yeah. I don't think we need to talk about that. Bungie knows they need to step up their story game, and I'm sure they'll hire someone with the amount of money they've made off this game. So.
Or not. Or not.
Or not. They'll just go, fuck the story. More grinding.
It's
grinding.
yeah. They definitely need to do something about the story because it's non-existent. It's frustrating because that's one of the best things about all of their previous games. Like going right back to something like Marathon, which is, you know, love it or hate it, it was better than any of the other shooters that were out at the time. It was better than Wolfenstein, it was better than Doom and all those other early games, and it was a Mac game, which was even cooler because there's nothing else available at the time for Macs, really.
Yeah.
And that was of that kind of caliber. And that game, even though it was just a simple shooter, it didn't have like cutscenes or anything like that, but it had a really immersive story.
Well, you guys used to
and
play.
that was the basis for the story in all the Halo games. Was not officially, but it was always the kind of connection that you could draw to Halo. The story was based on what was in Marathon with the rampant AI and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And they had so much history with really fleshing out characters, having good characters and good dialogue and all this kind of thing. And then Destiny comes along, and I understand it's an MMO and it's hard to kind of make the story as relevant for every single person as opposed to just focus on Master Chief. But at the same time, it doesn't make sense where you can just drop the ball with that much fashion.
The world, the art design is fantastic. The characters look interesting. You just don't have the connection, right?
You just don't care about the characters.
Yeah, and I think there should be
the voice acting isn't very good either.
I think, I just think the scripts are bad. Like, Peter Dinklage is a good actor. Nathan Fillion, they had some Firefly people voice.
Well, yeah, but they're all kind of tower
just
personalities.
like
they're just
Guardian.
they're just there to pay credit.
Guardian, we have a mission for you.
Yeah.
It's a scouting mission. Go blah 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 blah. Okay, stop
and when
talking.
you're done, go back and do it again 7 more times.
We need you to collect some supplies. The only one I actually really enjoy
Can you
is
please
that.
complete the strike 25 times and then shoot yourself in the face?
I like that Russian guy just because his voice is awesome. Dead orbit wants you to go back to salvage. Horrible.
He's not Russian. He just has a hoarse voice.
Oh yeah, sure.
No,
He's got an accent.
No.
He's in Prison Break and stuff.
Orbit needs you to do
No,
this
he's
for us.
he's Russian or something. He's got an accent. Yeah, man. We'll look it up. Mm-mm. So would you like to add anything to this?
I think we've pretty much covered everything that we wanted to cover. So
Yeah.
So this is any of you guys are still watching right now, this is the first time we've done a video like this. So please post any feedback that you have in the bottom there. We're kind of curious if people have any thoughts or suggestions or ideas or things they'd like us to talk about. Given what we said earlier on in the video, that Destiny has kept us from playing a lot of other games in the last little while, so keep your questions focused on Destiny. No, there's other games as well.
Yeah.
We've been playing a bit of Dragon's Age Inquisition as well, and Sheldon's been playing a lot of Shadows of Mordor, and I'm really looking forward to Witcher 3 coming out in the next little bit, so we'll be talking about other stuff as well.
Yeah,
but
for
by all
sure.
means, if you have any questions or suggestions or comments,
Yeah.
put them below.
Yeah.
First time I said that, put them below,
Put
and
them-
down the spot below.
Or up here.
Yeah.
In thin air.
Not the dark below, but down below. Way down below.
Yeah.
I like the song.
And I probably should have done this at the beginning, why we even started this. Just because we found that we were talking about video games, just you and I, and we both said like, you're like the only one I talk to video games about. Yeah, video games about. With.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, can you tell?
Yeah, you're like the only one I discuss video games with. You know, we both share this hobby and we both love it. And, you know, I think it's great for us to start this and hopefully make some friends in the community and, you know, just keep the conversation going, you know. Like,
and
I think
we'll
it's
also
good.
post our PSN names somewhere along the way where you can tweet us. Tweet us about it. So if you ever want to play with either of us, we play fairly often.
Oh yeah, for sure. You know, and
on PS4 is where we play.
PS4, and I will be getting an Xphone by the end of the year for Halo 5.
But yeah, not through Destiny at this point.
Nah, you know, I'm hoping I should probably end this here, but I hope they come up with a slim model. I'm going to leave on that note. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe. Follow us on Twitter. Turbo Function G. It will be there or somewhere around this whole freaking screen. All right.
Or some other letters.
All right. Thanks for watching. Take care and game on.
Thanks, guys.